So today on the podcast, thank you for being here. Well, as you saw, the theme of today's podcast is energy. And I've really been trying to get more energy out of life, trying to embody more energy. And it's hard to do if you're sad, boy. If you're sad, you're not going to have a lot of energy. And today I'm extracting out the good energy that God has bestowed upon this earth, this beautiful earth. And I'm grateful, man. And let's get into this podcast, huh? So today, as you can tell, it's a little bit more green vibes. I have a extra light here today. And as per usual, we got a watermelon Red Bull on the podcast today. What's on the shelf? Let's get into it. Pop. Yup. And you just witnessed that happen. Good times. And we have show notes today. Today it's just a piece of paper. Pod 34. I welcome the audience. You guys, the whole reason this podcast is being created for you. So thank you for being here. Grateful. And someone might be asking, what's the value of your little podcast, buddy? Is there any value in it? I would say the value is the energy, right? You know, this life energy, good or bad, there's energy coming through the podcast, right? And sometimes it's a little bit more of a creativity. Sometimes it's a little bit more somber. Sometimes it's a little bit more motivational and funny and comedic. Sometimes it's more self-improvement oriented, more mindful, more presence. So yeah, my podcast is a little all over the place. But guess what? It's a reflection of my soul. This is my podcast for you. It's my podcast at the end of the day, but I do make it for someone to watch it and get something from it. And I'm going to get into this in the podcast later on. And this isn't going to be a long podcast, so stick around the whole time. You might as well. Later on, I'm going to get into a new orientation that I'm taking the podcast or my YouTube creative journey in. Some announcements on some channel updates, potentially. Okay. So let's get into that right now, actually. I'm switching up. You know, as I think about the podcast I've been creating them. I've been doing them for about coming up on 6 months. And I've learned a lot in the last 6 months about communication. I'm learning so much about verbal communication. And I'm applying this into my job. I'm focusing on having more of a downward tone, a more certain tone. I'm more conscious of my filler words like, you know, and so, and and I'm becoming very intentional about the words that leave my mouth. And increasingly becoming more intentional about identifying what is true. And I'm learning this through the practice of recording myself. How you doing? I'm over the awkwardness of being recorded. Don't care. Not that I don't care. It's just I'm focusing on the value. And the value of a podcast is the words that I say. And if you want to watch me, that's up to you. But it's really about what is the value I'm creating with my spoken word. Is there truth being generated through my spoken word? That's what matters to me. And I'm realizing this. No one cares about the inside of my head. Stick with me here. No one cares about the thoughts that I'm thinking in my own head. And that applies to you too. A lot of people are in their heads these days, right? A A lot of people aren't expressing themselves as much as they could be, and they're thinking a lot of thoughts. And I was that type of person back in my day, years ago, relatively recently, actually. And for so long, I wanted to get out what was in my head. I wanted to get it out. And I thought that that people would be, sprinting to hear what was hear what was going on in my head. I thought people would really be like ears perked up, ready to listen. Newsflash, no one cares what's in your head. No one cares what you're thinking. They don't care. Begs the question, well, what do they care about? They care about if what's in your head is going to change the way they think and feel. They think, is there anything in his head that's valuable to me? That's the whole change in my thinking about making content is I've been, for the past 6 months, revealing what's inside my head. Here, everyone, here's what's going on in my head. Here's what I think. Here's what I feel. Here's what I see. Here's what I'm smelling. I've been doing that. Hey, here's what's going on in my head. Here. And guess what? Relatively, people don't care about that. Why would they? Why would they? Why would they care about that, right? So moving forward, I have this orientation. I'm taking a new angle to where now it's all about starting with the viewer/listener in mind. Who's going to hear this and what can I possibly say or transfer through this technology to impact that person, to create value? I'll say it again for emphasis. It's how can I create value for somebody to where they want to click on the video because they know down in their loins I'm going to give them something valuable. Whether it's humor, whether it's information, whether it's emotion, and whatever it is. I'm very intentional about creating value. And the listener will know / viewer will know in the future if the video's for them, because I will make it very clear, right? So 2 points. I'm in the process of starting 2 new channels. Okay. One's going to just be 2 additional channels, I should say. So I'll have 3 total. We have this one. This is Gimme The Keys. You guys kind of get it. It's a podcast. Kind of fun, kind of creative. I can sprinkle in music into this sector, this part. The second channel is just going to be a channel that's just my name, Alex Zafiro. It's going to just be a personal channel. And those videos, it's all still going to be me, right? Because I'm me. I can't escape me. But that channel is going to be about creating shorter content, less than 10 minutes, about me being as value added as possible in my video. And I want to incorporate more writing on this Alex Zafiro personal channel to where I sit down and I think through what is going to be presented and what's going to be the value that the listener will get. And I'm going to think about it and be a lot more intentional as I generate those videos. It's going to be more direct. Won't be in here. It'll be elsewhere. It'll be me actually speaking into the camera. I'm going to have to get good at that. I've been practicing. A little awkward at first, but like anything else, you get better at it the more that you do it. And I want to incorporate it's going to be more my genuine baseline self. This in this area, this podcast, I can be whatever I want. I can be silly. I can really be my truest self. I can just have fun and talk about anything that I want. And I don't have to care about, per se, there being some like end thing. Anywho, the second channel is going to be more direct, practical, thought through content that most likely will solve a question or solve a problem. Cool. So that's the 2 channels. And the third one, this is really one that's I'm looking forward to. It's going to be ASMR. It's going to just be a sole ASMR channel. And this one's the most experimental. I want to just make an ASMR channel. If you don't know what ASMR is, I believe it was Pod 20 on Gimme The Keys, Pod 20. I did an ASMR episode. You can watch that here if you want to check that out. But I want to just do an ASMR channel where it's just that, because so much advice out there on creating content and just that, creating content. All the advice is pick a niche. It's, hey, on your channel, find a topic and stick to it. Okay. The most sustainable niche that I think I could do well is ASMR, because I like ASMR. I actually enjoy it. I think it's really, really funny too, to just the whole idea of someone performing ASMR. I think it's so funny. It's relaxing to me to do it myself. I can replicate it. I can, it's very easy to do. And so I'm going to make an ASMR channel and I'll upload there. So I am making these buckets because I'm a person with, complex personality, different interest. I have well-rounded interest. And now I like that I'll have 3 buckets based on the creative direction I want to go with my content. I'll have 3 buckets of channels to create that content for. And it'll be more specialized. So that's what I'll be working on in the future. And I'll still do Gimme The Keys. I'll still do it. All right. I'll still come on here and have fun and talk about my life and be freer in judgment and experiment. I'll still do that. All right. How you guys doing? Today is Wednesday. It's 1:49. About to head out to work, and I'm taking some good energy into work today. You can count on that. Oh yeah, watermelon Red Bull. Other thing here. Last podcast was the most vulnerable podcast I ever done. And it's about God. And quickly, real briefly, I wanted to share this. I've been reading this. And this is a Bible. It's a version of the Bible called The Message. And I've been reading 1 Corinthians and pleading with God to lead me in my life, to be with me, to give me strength. And I remember 1 Corinthians 9. What's that say? God's faithful. God is faithful. He will never give up on you. And I've been latching onto that God will never give up on me. And for that, I will live for him. So I'm leaning on God and less on myself. I'm praying daily, asking God for forgiveness, asking God for strength, asking God for guidance to heal my heart, to soften my heart, to change the orientation and posture of my whole spirit. Please, God. And that's pretty much, where I'm at in my faith. I'm really pleading with God to grow me. I'm leaning on him. Yep. And as I said earlier, I'm about to go to work. And my work is I'm in sales. I sell solar, and I'm out and about talking to people. So let me give you a couple mantras that we use before we go out to the doors. You know what? Here we go. I'm alive. I'm alert. And I feel great. Another time. I'm alive. I'm alert. I'm alert. And I feel great, okay? And I feel it. I have the energy of greatness inside of me. Who's going to say no to me? No one can stop me because God said yes. No one's going to say no to me, right? What else? Sales are easy. Sales are easy. Sales are easy. Tap your temple, program that in. Sales are easy. Sales are easy. I walk and I talk and I sell. I walk and I talk and I start conversations with people. And I'm a servant out there on them doors. Not there to sell you. I'm here to serve you. I know it's a heartbreaker. This isn't a sales process. This isn't a sales process. I know it's a heartbreaker. I don't know if you know. That's one of the one-liners we use. Shout out to Taylor McCarthy. Obviously, he's a GOAT in the door-to-door industry. And he's got that energy, and we got that energy today. We have that energy, and we express that energy today. We shared in that energy, me and you. So thank you for sticking around on the Gimme the Keys. You got the keys for your day. Take these keys and run with them. Go on, take these keys. Be love today. How about that? Go out there and just be a walking, talking force of love. That's what I'm going to do today. And that's what we've done here. So thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next pod. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock.